Boom, baby, we are live. Welcome to Interview with the Man. It's Money Monday. It's MLD and Mr. Justin Waller. The interview is coming up right now. Don't you dare turn that dial.
Make money, make muscles, learn game. If you're listening to me, you're a hot dude. The hot dude life is not about your physical appearance. The hot dude life is a mentality. The Hot Dude Army is a global network, and the Hot Dude Army is everywhere. Decrease your judgment of others and increase the judgment of yourself. So you belong to the streets, huh?
100%.
It starts with learning dating, and then you move on to something to push humanity forward. That is the philosophy of modern life dating. This is a textbook example of really good game.
I gotta say, that intro still gets me hyped up. Dude, look at me. I look like Wolverine. Good Lord. My hair is so thick. Good Lord. I got some to spare for Richard Cooper. Come on down, Rich. Anyways, how's everybody doing today? Welcome. Let's raise the desk up a little bit here. I am in a great mood. I'm so happy to be here, guys. And a big reason for that is because we're 10 days out from the Masculine Empowerment Network. That's right. And we'll be playing the exclusive Dark Pass Harem. The commercial that is too good for YouTube. They actually ban the video as soon as I play this. So I can only play it on Rumble. Stay tuned, because at the end of today's stream, we're going to go over to Rumble. We are streaming live on Rumble now. So shout out to my people over there on Rumble. Just so you guys know, at the end of every episode, we do what is called the Rumble Raid, where we raid and we go over to Rumble, and then I give my famous Rumble rant. Trust me, you want to be there for it. I'm considering doing, actually, I have a whole little thing I want to do a cover story on, because I have no longer silence. On Rumble, I can say whatever I want. And I'm so happy to be broadcasting over on Rumble. I'm going to build that channel up. We have so many subscribers coming over there. Guys, if you are friends to free speech and you are a person that believes in the First Amendment, okay, you got to go make a Rumble account. It's easy. It takes 2 seconds to have an app you can download. I'm going to be very honest. The user interface for Rumble is like 2004 YouTube. However, I can say whatever I want over there, and I'm already making money. I'm making money on my videos, which is crazy. You know, I only have made like $10 since I've started streaming like 2 weeks ago, but that's huge. That's really huge. Almost as huge as the Masculine Empowerment Network, because December 29th, baby, it's going down. Go to masculineempowermentnetwork.com and get on the waiting list, okay? Because what you're going to get, let me show you what you get, okay? When you sign up for the Masculine Empowerment Network, this is what you get. You get Boom Baby, We Are Live. You get access to the Dark Pass Harem. This is a seduction course on how to date multiple women simultaneously. Guys, let me tell you something. I have mastered the art of dating women to the point of literal boredom. It literally bores me now. Okay. It really does. I've mastered it. It's really not that, it really doesn't get me going. And that's the point you want to get to in life, where the desire, okay, the desire to chase after women and the desire to chase after new pussy fades away because you've mastered it and becomes boring. All right. That's what you want to do. You know what my main desire is right now? It is to really, really understand the ins and out of the real estate game. I am on the sidelines for crypto because there's going to be no opportunity until like 2025 for cash out, to be honest with you, maybe late 2024. But right now, crypto's on the down and down. I think we're going to bleed out a little bit more into quarter 1 and 2 of next year. And we're going to start seeing light at the end of the tunnel into next year. That's okay. So stack cash, get ready. I talked about it in the previous bull run that, hey, these times are coming to an end. And, you know, here we are. So going back to the original point here about the dark past harem, I have mastered this shit. Okay. I'm very good at understanding female psychology, almost too good. And the dark past harem is really going to show you exactly how to date multiple women, how to manage a relationship with women, and then ultimately get to the point where you're just so tired of women because you're fucking, you know, a master of it all. So I got that going for us. And then on January 9th, we have 20 webinars with experts in money, muscles, game, and frame. This is what a webinar is. It's a live Zoom training session where you come in and you get to have a conversation with me and my team of experts in money, muscles, game, and frame. We'll be giving presentations. And then to top it off, we'll be opening the panel to ask all of your questions directly to the panel members and get them answered right away. If you can't make it to all webinars, there are going to be recorded. And then you get access to 200 plus hours of past webinars as well on a secret website. And then number 4, you get access to the secured Telegram chat. This is where we answer all your questions throughout the rest of 2021. And then this Telegram chat goes all the way until the end of March. And then the final new addition is the 3 end of month checkup calls, where I help you at the end of each month to see where exactly you are in your journey and where you need help with. Okay. It is so good. The Masculine Empowerment Network is just changing people's lives, guys. I got to tell you, if you've never been a part of it, I have changed so many men's lives through them coming to the Masculine Empowerment Network. I mean, I've changed guys from literally living in their mother's basement to making like 6 figures within 2 years. Okay. It's totally possible. It's totally doable. And it is only available through you coming in and doing the work. Okay. Let me just tell you something, guys, something. Okay. A lot of people in the red pill space, okay, they've lost their way. A lot of people, a lot of these newcomers, I'm seeing a lot of these new channels and stuff. They're coming along, and you know what they're doing? They're just looking for clout. Everybody's looking for clout. Okay. We've got Horsha invading. Okay. We've got all of these just people who are in here trying to get some of that red pill clout. And the reality is very simple for me. My goal has not changed. My goal is to empower men. My goal is to give you the life that you want. Okay. Not what Rollo thinks you should do or whoever the fuck thinks you should do what. Okay. It is what you want, the life that you want, the desires that you have. That is what I'm bringing to the table. Okay. And that being said, there's only one way to do this. And you got to come to these webinars. You got to show up, and you have got to participate in your own rescue. Okay. We got a little sneak shot right now of some of the schedule coming up here. Take a look. All right. So this is the Masculine Empowerment Network January webinar schedule. So as you can see, we start on Monday, January 9th. Okay. And we go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We take the weekend off, and then we're back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So not starting on January 9th, 9 a.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. It is a great time of bonding, okay? It is a great time of brotherhood. It is a time where you get to come in there and to be vulnerable. You get to talk about all your problems, and we provide you with solutions, okay? This is where you come to get your problem solved. Guys, I am not like these other fucking content creators, okay? I was just like you. I was sitting on the other side of that screen, and I was trying my best to get where I am now. And honestly, where I am now is so insane. It's hard for me to really digest it, to be honest with you. Sometimes I just look at my life and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, my life is amazing. Okay. So the color coordination is here. Money, muscles, game, frame. As you can see, on Monday at the night time, we have inner masculine. He's going to be doing an inner game topic. That's frame. We're going to have that colored in here a second. Googs is coming in. He is our top secret military member. Talks about the principles of strength conditioning. Wraith, Deantor, is going to talk about change, how you have to adapt to change and adapt with your frame. Friday night, inner masculine is back talking about inner game as well. The next week, Googs is back. Googs is a high-level top secret military I can't even say, just say personnel. And he's going to talk to you about red pill leadership principles. This is really good conversation about you guys that need to be had about leadership. Okay. Wraith is coming in again, going to be doing a Q&A about frame and all your frame questions. And we're going to be doing a frame statement live. Okay. Mark Daniels from Mark's Inspirations is going to be doing the value of persistence. That is on nighttime. And this schedule is going to get filled up throughout the week. We're going to have more money things. We're going to have more muscles things. And we're going to have more game. And it is only available at the Masculine Empowerment Network. You are literally getting, assuming, which they never do, but assuming each of these is 2 hours, okay? So you're literally having 2 times 5 is 10 in the morning, times 2, that's 20 right there, okay? You're getting 40 hours of live coaching and training. 40 live coaching and training. Not to forget that you're also going to get the free checkup calls, and you're also going to get the database with literally 200 plus hours of these previous recorded training sessions as well. All of that is available, but you have to go to the masculineempowermentnetwork.com and get on the waiting list, because here's the deal. We are only having enrollment open for 5 days. 5 days only, okay? 29th, 30th, 31st, January 1st and January 2nd. And then it's closed because we have to get everybody coordinated. We have to get everybody in the Telegram group, and then we have to get everybody in and on board and get you educated. Everybody has particular individual problems, okay? Guys, I've seen it all. I've seen guys come from crazy backgrounds of wild childhoods. Can't even say about it. Let's just say the elites would be happy to see these people going through the kind of childhoods they've gone through. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. We've had guys going through divorces. We've had guys going through hell. We've had guys losing millions of dollars. We have had guys, thinking they're total sexual rejects only to be running through girls after a very short amount of time working with me. You guys heard on Friday, even Anthony called in and he was talking about how he's in a great relationship, and I was helping him about this time last year. We are just working so hard to change as many men's lives as possible, and that's never going to change here. That's just always going to be the focus of this. All right. So despite all the shadow banning, despite all the YouTube censorship, despite all the coordinated attacks, I'm not going anywhere. If I have to go to Rumble full time, I'm going to Rumble full time. It is what it is. And everything that I learned, okay, as a self-made entrepreneur who's now generated millions of dollars for myself, the lessons I have at this higher level of red pill thinking, this higher level of red pill existence, I am going to pass those on to you as well. That schedule I just showed you is only going to get better. And the only way you can get access to it is by going to the masculineempowermentnetwork.com and put your email address in right here. Click here to get on the waiting list, okay? We are filling the hole with the cryptocurrency people as well. We are updating everything. This is going to be an even better. The reality is this, and I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to be very transparent. with everything. Okay. Evans Claveau, do you have new jobs like coding, etc.? Yes. And those will be added onto the schedule this week. I'm not saying that just to say that. I have 2 former students that came to me, and these guys are motherfucking killing it. They are killing it. These people are doing so well that they have their own brands and they're making all their own money. These guys were like, one of the guys was literally poor, and now he is making big bank. He's on his way to 6 figures, and the community that we are building here is a real deal. But yeah, going back to that, look, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be very honest. In 2021, during the crypto bull market mania, I took my foot off the gas, and I really, 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 I don't want to say hate myself for doing that, but I realized it was such a massive mistake. It's actually written above my bed. It says, you are the leader. What does it say? It says, you are always the leader, foot on the gas always. Okay. And if you don't believe me, I'll go pull that sign right off my wall. It's a handwritten sign in my bedroom right here. It is on the wall. If one person doubts me in the chat, I swear to God, I'll go up there and grab it. Okay. And I took my foot off the gas. Why? It was the first time in my life that I had generated, at that point was like, I had gotten the new life high score, right? I had generated over $2 million, and I let it get to my head. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm the man, I'm invincible, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't even keep an eye on the people around me, and I kind of let things get out of control, right? And it's my fault. However, 2021, we still had a great year, a lot of breakthroughs. Some great people had life-changing results, and I'm still having life-changing results right now with these guys in my group. It's not changing. I'm getting better. So that being said, if you look, and here's the thing, right? What we offer in the Masculine Empowerment Network, it's hard work, okay? And we don't tell you some fucking retarded shit like, make a high-value Instagram and then you're going to fuck models, and that's all that matters, fucking models in life. Like, it's short-sighted. It's stupid, okay? Quite frankly, if I see anybody, like, I went to the club this weekend, honestly, but I went to the club to pitch the owner an idea, and he's the owner of the One Oak Tokyo nightclub, and I'm working on something pretty big behind the scenes. Like, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a large investment, probably around $50,000, give or take. But when this plan comes to fruition, you guys are going to see a whole new level of content and a whole new level of positive information for your future, because I refuse to go down the red pill doom and gloom path. And the reason is this: the people who go red pill doom and gloom, you know why they do that, right? Because they don't have the answers. They don't have there's no solution. They don't have the solution. They don't have the answers. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Not everybody, I mean, if everybody had the answers, then no, it is what it is, right? So believe you me, we got some good things cooking. But I went to the nightclub. I kind of was just thinking to myself, I'm 37 now, right? And I had a wild night. I kind of got seduced into the night. And I got to tell you, like, I don't know, if I see a guy in his like late 30s or early 40s and he's still like, I'm going to the club, I just look at this guy like, this guy's a fucking idiot, I just can't. It's not the right long-term solution. And it's not the answer for the everyday man. I think a lot of people are like, everybody's trying to be like these, like men are feeling like this pressure to be like this super giga chat. Like, you got to have a fucking blue check on Instagram. And you got to pop bottles in the VIP and got to do this. And honestly, I hated going to the club. Majority of my life, I hated it. I used to go to the club just to get fucking hammered, right? The only period in my life where I liked to go in the club was about 2007 and 2008. So that was 15 years ago. And I was 22. So it kind of adds up because everybody's an idiot when they're 22, right? But now I'm looking at it and I'm just thinking, like, now that my eyes are open and I'm red pilled on a whole new level, okay? People are like, oh, you got to go to the club. You got to go to the club. You got to go to the club, pick up girls. First of all, okay, the club attracts like literally the shittiest of shit of people. Like, high quality people don't frequent nightclubs. High quality people don't even want to step foot into a nightclub, quite frankly. Okay. And the women that are electing to go to nightclubs, these chicks are just like in a bad place in their life. Okay. Quality women, they don't need to go on dating apps. Quality women, they don't need to go on fucking nightclubs. Quality women, they don't need to do this kind of fucking hoe shit. Right. And then so you're kind of swimming through a sewer to like pick up some fucking scraps. But I digress. It is what it is. But the point I'm trying to make is, in the Masculine Empowerment Network, we give it to you straight. And we give solutions for the everyday man. Okay. And we teach you the truth that this whole endless player lifestyle that a lot of people are selling to you, it's not real. It's a fucking fraud. It's a scam. Okay. And the people who are into that, these are typically low IQ people, like who are just constantly, oh, I want to go to a club. I want to do this. I'm popping bottles in the VIP. Oh, I'm so drunk. I'm in my late 30s and I'm hungover, bro. I'm so hungover, bro. It's retarded. It's asinine. It's childish. Okay. And we are dropping real life solutions for you in the Masculine Empowerment Network. And you know what's funny? Like, I have so many success stories, client success stories, that these people are, I forget about them. Like, they come back and I'm like, oh my God, like, how are you? You doing great? Like, oh my God, you changed my life. I'm doing a great job. I'm like, have a girlfriend now. I'm happy. And that's what I do. And so there you go. Shout out to Morgan Jones, looking very beautiful. I mean, look at this. Let me talk about, look, she's a pretty girl. She's married, 22, and I've never been to the club. Don't understand how these women choose it over a good relationship. Makes no sense. Morgan, you're married, right? Morgan, where are you in the world? Let me know. But yeah, so we're just like, because I think there's a new culture out here. Okay. Now this new culture of like, it's like thirst trapping after dudes. Like, a lot of people like, you know, it's like the man thirst trap, like the male thirst trap. Like, you know, like, for example, Justin Waller, extremely good looking guy, tall, jacked, super rich. And a lot of guys are like thirst trapping after him and thirst trapping after Tate. And that's not to say anything bad about Justin or Tate at all. But what I'm trying to say is that when they are showing that they're having a party and they're going out once in a while, you have to understand these guys behind the scenes, first of all, they rarely go out and party like that. Second of all, they have done so much work in their life that they can afford to do that. And even they can afford to do it. And I mean afford with time, money, calories, health, okay? They are able to do that because they have put in so many years of work, okay? So there you go. Look at this. There you go. Simon Thompson. MLG changed my life, guys. Trust him. I needed to change my mindset. Are you women? He nailed it for me. You know? And how many hard conversations of me kind of yelling at you did it take, Simon? And I hope I didn't hurt your feelings, but sometimes, like I said, sometimes I have to yell at you guys. Digitally yell, like, stop doing that. Stop trying to red pill sluts on Tinder. They don't fucking care. You know? And I'm proud of my work. I'm proud of what I do. Like, I have, like, you know, so many of these people who have came through my programs are like out here changing people's lives. So it all started with the Masculine Empowerment Network, and I'm not going anywhere. Okay. I'm not after the fast money. I'm not after the fast growth. I don't care about that shit. I don't give a fuck. Have you seen me on Rumble? Do you really think I care about that shit? Trust me, you want to turn into today's Rumble raid after. It's going to be lit. And I just all I care is the hard work. And look, you're not going to get to the level of success that you want sitting down and having a one-way conversation on YouTube. It's not. You just sitting there absorbing this stuff. You just sitting there thinking, I'm going to figure it out. No, I don't need it. You maybe these things go through your mind. Oh, he's just a grifter.
So
He just,
you have accepted
you know,
the truth.
he just wants money. He just wants this. He wants that. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay. First of all, I'm not desperate for anybody's money. I'm so good at what I do. I'm going to be rich for the rest of my fucking life. Secondly, if I don't put a price on this stuff, you're not going to value it. I've tried coaching people for free, and every single time it bites me in the ass. Because if you don't pay, you don't pay attention. And what people don't pay for, they don't value. It's just human psychology. Okay. And that being said, I offer life-changing advice, and we're just getting started. I'm only getting better. You guys think I just sit around all day and just like, you think I just sit around and like just jerk off all day and fucking do nothing? Dude, I have been up. It is 11:52 p.m. right now. I have been up since 9:30 a.m. this morning, crushing it. And I've eaten no food today. I've been fasting. I've been working on elevating my fitness. I've been working on so many things business-wise. I've been working. I had, during inner game stuff. I'm doing a lot of self-development stuff. I'm doing a lot of studying. I am working behind the scenes so hard on myself and my craft. And I'm in the workshop right now, and I'm rebuilding. And everything I learn and everything I do, the benefits get passed on to you. So, we got some look at this. These were people I've met in real life. This is a great friend of mine. This is John as the man. Same dude in person as he is online. A lot of people think I'm playing a character too. It's funny. And you know what's funny? These camera angles make me look like a fucking manlet. And I am 5'10" and 194 pounds of raw man, baby. I am listen, I am no manlet. I know some of you guys think I'm like a fucking little 5'6", 140 pounder. Listen, I'll put you on the floor. Okay. I will put you down. I'm a big boy. So let's see. Big Johnson says, am I correct in believing that women are more attracted to the idea of a perfect guy? Yes. Than the perfect guy himself? No, they are looking for the perfect guy, but modern women are not equipped to be in a relationship. They don't know how to be in a relationship because their mothers failed them. The dopamine rush from her imagination will always be stronger than what she has. Yeah, but you kind of like, that's the thing is, and that's why it comes down to frame. When you're in a relationship, you have to set the frame. You have to set expectations. And I talk about that in the Dark Past Harem, which is coming out on December 29th. Okay. You're going to see, I'm filming it on Thursday, and the content is fucking gigafire. You will see every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. You guys will see. So anyways, we have got a super requested video. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is hilarious that people want to do a review on this, right? Because I really didn't think that many people found my Jay Waller interview that intriguing. Now, this may be broken down into a multiple part series. I'm going to do my best to get it over with here, but I'm not going to lie. So it's midnight now. It's 11:55. I had a little trouble with Rumble setting it up. That's why I'm a little late. And I have to be at the dentist at 11 a.m. So I gotta go to bed. So taking a look here, we might have to break this down into two sections. But we're gonna get it done between today and tomorrow, most likely. Because I have so many guests. I gotta get guests on. I have guest speakers coming on. I have so much stuff. I don't know. We might just power through and knock it out. We'll see. But this is requested through a number of viewers. So for you guys that don't know, this is when I was on Jay Waller's channel. I met Jay Waller before he was Jay Waller. And there we are in their apartment. And let's see. I'm so glad to see women in the audience too. Shout out to Zamari. There's no such thing as perfect. The only thing matters is that she's perfect for you. Very true. Morgan Jones says, honest opinion, John's channel is one of the best in the red pill space for improving men and very helpful for women who care to learn. Just my thoughts. I've watched a good bit. Thank you so much, Morgan Jones. You are a sweet angel. Let's get going. I'm going to crank it up with the speed a little bit as well.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it. If you don't like Brandon Carter, you don't believe in Jesus. I said it. I don't know if we're live or not. But anyway, guys, we have Mr. John MLD on the show today, all the way in from Japan. How was the flight, bro?
It was long.
How long was that flight?
The flight time itself was probably 17 hours. Total travel time was like 20, 21. I find if I don't eat and I don't drink and I just drink water and I stay awake the whole time, it makes
you catch up to yourself.
Yeah, here. I get a day when I come to America, but when I go back to Japan, I always lose a day. But the vacation's ending, so I don't care.
Nice. Do you miss Japan?
You know what? This time around, you guys, I'm always a ball of joy when I come back sometimes.
Right.
But this time, I'm actually enjoying America. I don't know. It was a mentality thing. I was like, I just gotta enjoy.
How's the audio? Is the audio good? Let me guys know. Can we? You just want to say, listen, bro. This was MLD who was not really dialed in on his calendar stuff, because this was like in August, I think, and then I was doing the summer of joy. I was like going on vacation like every other week and eating and having sex in tropical locations and just balling out. And this is also pre-hair transplant. Look at this baldy over here. I got a full head of hair now, baby. I'm looking great over here. I have definitely lost weight and I've grown hair since this interview. Oh, how time flies.
Oh yeah. Now my mom and my sister have hijacked my trip though. My mom came down from Orlando. My sister came down from Fort Lauderdale. They're staying in the Airbnb right now. So they're cooking, they're cleaning, they're giving me midnight facial treatments and stuff. Cool. They're driving me wherever I need to be driven. So it's nice because, I only see my family like twice a year. So, this time they're here, help me out. But I've been seeing, we saw some smoke show last night. So I don't see Latino girls obviously in Japan, right? Right. And I saw this girl, she had a smoke show. And it was just refreshing to see a medley of different types of women out here.
It's crazy because it's like you want to believe in American women. I think Miami's probably an outlier. But
what do you mean?
Well, I just think there's more attractive women in Miami than you would find, in Virginia.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an outlier in that regard.
So physically attractive, yes. Internally repulsive, definitely.
So we got to get into it, man. I've been taking guys through the journey of how they came up, how they became who they are, and so I certainly would want to ask you the same. Tell me where you're originally from. I know it's Florida. Yeah.
Yep.
How you came up, what the journey was like. What was the young?
Is it me or does this audio sound like muffled?
John, junior high, 6th grade. What was that like? Who was he?
I was always a gregarious kid. I still am a gregarious person. I like to get people together, have a good time. So I am born in Miami to a Trinidadian immigrant woman. So long story short, my dad was a player, and he went down to Trinidad, scooped my mom off the beach. He's a white guy, but he was like 42. She was 18, and he scooped her off the beach, got her pregnant, and then moved to Miami. And I was born in 1985. Nice. And a year after I was born, he took off and left, and then they divorced. Surprisingly, funnily enough, he went to Virginia. So
maybe I was wrong about Virginia.
So he went to Virginia, and then my mom, had 2 other marriages after that, and then had my brother and sister with that. And then, but by the time she was like 28, she divorced the last guy, and then we just grew up single mom from that point forward. So I never met my dad, and then all I know, when I was 15, my mom was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you." She sat me down, and she's like, "Your father's passed away." But at the time, I was just like, I remember I just got Resident Evil 2. I was like, I don't care. I never met this guy. I want to go play Resident Evil 2.
Right, yeah.
I want to kill the alligator in the subway, in the sewer. So the thing is, when we moved out of Miami, that's where I was born, for 0 to 13 years old. And then when we moved out of Miami, we moved up to Orlando. So we moved into this area near Kirkman over there. It's near all the attractions, Disney and all that. And that's when I first saw like higher class suburban living, but we were still super poor. My mom was working in the nightclubs in Miami as a bartender. And then she transferred to working in the industries like, restaurants, and she worked at Shoney's, she worked at all these places. She didn't have any papers. So she was trying to get her papers while she was here. And so we always grew up poor. But then when I moved to Orlando, I went to this high school and this middle school that was really rich. And it was really confusing for me because I would see all these rich white people, rich white kids. And
what did you classify yourself as at that time?
So it's so weird, right? So my dad's white, or he was white. My mom's Trinidadian. So basically I'm half white, half Indian. So I never considered myself white though, ever, because my whole brown family was taking care of me. And my sister would always be like, "You got that white boy privilege." And I'm like, I don't know. I never saw it.
Does she not look similar to you?
She's half Cuban. Her father's Cuban.
Ah, because of the different father.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
you.
And then my other brother, his father was white too. And so she always makes stuff. You guys have that white privilege. You know, it's just a joke. But we grew up so poor. And then I went to high school in Winter Park High School in Orlando, Florida. It's like,
Yeah, I know where Winter Park is.
yeah. So it's a really affluent area. You know what I mean? So I became friends with my best friend at the time. His name's Jordan. And I would always go to his house after school because they had a swimming pool. And then I just blew my mind when I would open his refrigerator and it just was like,
All this food.
I was like, you guys always have food here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, damn, like I would eat Chef Boyardee. Like,
I'm not entirely sure, but I think Justin may have grown up poor as well. But that's one thing I've noticed is a thing, and I think that's kind of been one of Tate's talking points. Is like, you know, men who typically grow up poor, typically develop the character a lot better when they evolve into a richer man. For me, like, you know, I don't want to talk about how much liquid cash I have, but to the average person, it's a lot of money. To me, I'm just like, you know, I think to myself, like, you know, so I grew up pretty poor, and now I'm pretty, you know, pretty successful individual, top 1%. That's all I'll say. And 1% is when you make more than 480 grand a year, if you run the numbers for the United States. So I'm there, and it's funny because I'm just like, the things that make me happy, right? Today I've been fasting all day, right? So I haven't eaten any food, and I had like some beef bouillon cubes, and I microwaved 2 of them, and I drank like a beef broth before I came on here because I was kind of getting a little hungry, and I'm not gonna break my fast until I'm trying to go as long as possible. I gotta go to the dentist in the morning tomorrow morning as well, and it's so nice. My kitchen is clean. I didn't cook all day, and so it's just so nice not to have to wash dishes. I've been doing laundry today though, it just fucking sucks. My girl, she was slacking this weekend. She tricked me. She tricked me well. She tricked me with comfort, and then I realized the laundry wasn't done. I was like, bitch, the fuck is this? But anyways, we're doing laundry and shit today. But so not really eating. And I was just thinking there as I was sitting down drinking my beef broth as I'm doing my 24-hour plus fast, that God, I'm just like so happy with so little. And that's a great thing about being down and out, right? A couple years ago, remember I was in 20. I found my notebook today where I wrote my affirmations in 2018 when I was making fuck all. I remember in 2018, like, to change the toppings on pizzas. So if you order pizza in Japan, just so you guys know, like, pizza is like fucking crazy expensive in Japan. Okay. And it's kind of like seen as a flex, like, I'm ordering pizza, bitch. Like, here, let me see if I can show you something real quick. Okay. I'll show you Domino's. I'll show you Domino's website here in Japan. Should give you kind of a little perspective on what is what the cost is like over here, because it's pretty expensive. And so looking at my, hold on, give me a second. Okay, there we go. God, just hurry the fuck up. Japanese fucking bureaucracy is everywhere, every on their goddamn websites. All right, so take a look here. Okay, so this is what I would like to do. Okay, so for the yen, right? Basically, this 2,100. This is basically like $21.99. Now the exchange rate has been a little bit different lately, but you can see that like it's just insane. So I would always go, like, when I'm treating myself, right? I'd like to do a pizza. So this is like a personal pan pizza right here, and about 27 centimeters across. So when I ever wanted to edit the toppings, like if you want to add some pepperoni, it's $4.10 to add pepperoni, and that's like a personal pan pizza, 27 centimeters across. Okay. And I always like to add pepperoni, and I would like to add jalapenos, and I'd like to add cherry tomatoes, right? So I would literally be sitting there like staring at the screen. And I don't know why I did it, but it was just like that's just how broke I was. I was just like micromanaging my fucking toppings. Like, oh, I don't know if I can afford, like, let's see what, like $2.70, that's $5, like $9 worth of fucking changing the toppings on my pizza and just being like, oh God, you know, fucking hell, man. I don't know about this. And that's how poor I was. And so now that I have money, like for me to like go out and indulge, it's just I really don't need much to be happy. Like to me, I am still happy with a grilled piece of chicken breast, okay, a cup of white rice, a nice little side salad, a lime, half of a lime to squeeze on my rice, because I was raised by a bunch of Cuban nannies. Ever since they taught me about rice, black beans, and lime on it. Oof, with the steak, bro, forget about it. That makes me happy. A little bit of lime on my white rice, chicken breasts, and some side salad with Italian dressing. That right there for me is just like, I am happy. So that's a good thing about growing up poor, is like it doesn't take you much to be happy. And then to be like really, really happy, it's like I want to go to Outback and have like a $70 dinner with me and girl, right? That's like really, really happy for me. And if I want to go ball and outrageous, it's like Ruth Chris, right? Whatever. But like even Ruth Chris is just like two people, $300. It's really not too crazy. But I do think growing up poor gives you a better perspective on what really matters in life. And you really kind of like, I think a lot of people simp for money when they grow up poor, but they have to realize like money is everywhere. And the best people I know who grew up with money, or who grew up to have money, also came from poverty. So I think this little common point we had here.
Ravioli and stuff. And I was just like, I'm living large, you know. I can eat whatever I wanted. So I kind of had an understanding about like being poor wasn't the only.
Right. There's possibilities.
Yeah. And from then I was just a hustler. You know, the church loved me because I would always raise money for the missionaries and stuff like that. And I went on a mission trip to Africa when I was 16.
What was the denomination?
Pentecostal. Ooh, like the crazy.
Hardcore. Yeah. Interesting.
So you would sell these candies to raise money. Like they would give you a box of 40 Snickers and M&Ms and all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
World's best Ponzi scheme with the best bait children.
So what I did was I would always tell kids in high school was this. I'll say, listen, I'll say this one Snickers is $1, all right? But I got a better deal for you. I got these 2 M&Ms and the Snickers. I'll sell you each of these M&Ms for $1.50 each, and I'll give you Snickers for free. And people were like, oh, that's a great deal. And it was just give me $3. I would give them 3 pieces of candy. And it was completely ethical, right? And
no math.
Yeah, you know, just lavished up the deal. And that helped me raise money to go to Africa to do these mission trips. So at that point I realized, okay, I'm good at convincing people to sell and do stuff like that. So then I just, you know, I've had like 30 jobs in my life. I was just, you know, always chasing money and then chasing a degree. So after high school,
I got to back you up. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I think there's something very interesting that I've not covered on the show yet, and it's around stepfathers. Doesn't mean they have to be evil. Right. You know what I'm saying? I have like this very healthy relationship in my mind with my stepfather that, you know, why, like, I don't feel like I was ever that close to him. At the same time, I don't blame him for that because like I wasn't his kid, bro. Like the fuck?
Awkward.
You know what I'm saying? I lived in his house for free.
You know how we feel about single moms.
Yeah. So,
you know,
so my question to you is, how were those two relationships with those two men?
I didn't have a stepfather.
So there was no stuff, like she married twice more after you?
So she married, So she married my dad. I don't know if she married him. I think she married him. Married my dad, but they divorced like within a year. And then my sister's dad is a Cuban guy. I don't know if they got married, and then they had a kid, and then she went on to my brother's father, and she was married to him for a while. Because my brother, he was.
But you weren't in the house at this time?
What do you mean?
Like you weren't living with your mother while she married the next man that she had your sister with, or married you weren't in the house?
No, I was very young. I was 5 years old when she was on the third guy. My memory came to consciousness when she was already married.
Right. So there was no like conscious relationship between you and said man.
No, I mean the third guy, yes, his name was Bill, but I was with him ages 5 to 11.
You talked to him today?
No.
No beef, just not contact.
No, yeah, he disappeared when I was 13.
Got you. Yeah. Cool. Do you think is there any chance that your mother, and I'm referencing hypergamy here, was trying to get paperwork through the marriage?
I don't think she was smart enough. She was 18.
Yeah, so she was probably just paranoid in love.
Yeah. She was just like, I want to go to America.
Right.
You ever been to Trinidad?
No.
It's kind of a shithole. I mean, God bless the Trinidadians.
And I think it's completely fair because wouldn't you say most people want to come to America?
I mean, we're in Miami. Look at them.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're everywhere.
They're all here. They're happy to be in America.
Okay, so now you're going to this thing that's very common, and a lot of guys watching are going through this or have gone through this in some way, growing up in a single family, single mother household.
Yeah. It was tough, man. It was tough. And I'm allowed to say it because I was raised in it. Bro, no. So I grew up in Hialeah, right? And when my mom couldn't watch me, she dropped me off with this Spanish lady named Mercedes, who was divorced, and her 3 daughters. It was Jessica, Ingrid, and Lisa. And
this is the story of the Cuban nannies that I never really tell on my channel. But there was a good portion of my life where I was raised by these 4 Cuban ladies. Mercedes was the divorcee. And then she had Jessica, Ingrid, and Lisa. And, bruh, it was 4 women. And then they were taking care of there's some lady named Lourdes, and she had a fucking coke and heroin problem. And she had two sons, Robert and John. But Lourdes was such a fucking like a fucking nutbag. She couldn't take care of them. So Mercedes, Jessica, and Ingrid, and Lisa were all pooling their money together, taking care of Robert and John. And then my mom couldn't afford a babysitter a lot, so she kind of worked out a deal that she could give some money to Mercedes, and Mercedes would watch me, my sister, and my brother. So you had 4 women looking after 5 kids, and it was just like fucking female chaos, dude. It was just like I have no idea how I did not turn out to be like Jeffrey Dahmer with all the shit I saw as a childhood. I was completely robbed in my childhood. I just saw shit I shouldn't have seen, just like the women run around their bras and walking in on people naked by accident, just because just so much female chaos going on. And it was a wild time, but they did their best. And because of that, I was able to learn a lot of Spanish. That's why my Spanish is really, really good. But it just made me realize men really add so much stability to a woman's life, guys. Well, Zamari is in the chat, and she called in on Friday, and she was just she straight said up, I fucking need my husband to tell me what to do. I am a mess without him. And a lot of women who are comfortable in themselves and comfortable in their femininity know that they have to submit to a husband. And that doesn't mean that the husband is come here, bitch. I'm gonna submit, bitch. I'm gonna beat your fucking ass. It doesn't work like that. Okay. Every gender has their role in the harmonious dance of relationships. 2 people cannot lead. Oh, my camera just shit the bed. Okay. Oh, no. We're going to have to go podcast mode. Oh, there we go. Internal temperature high. What does that say? I feel like it's not good. Oh, shit. All right. Well, we're going to have to just let that camera cool off. So we're going to go dark mode for a minute. We're just going to let the camera cool off. I have no idea because my heater is kind of blown on. I don't know. Anyways, you have to go back to understanding that. And this is from a standpoint of biology as well. Guys, when women are when the modern woman is left to her own devices, 9 times out of 10, she begins to self-destroy. Okay? They begin to self-destruct. It is irrefutable. Okay? You don't believe me? Go outside, look in America, and tell me how many skinny women you see. Look at all these women eating themselves to death. Okay? Female alcoholism is at all-time high. Female drug use is at all-time high. Female abortions, all-time high. Think about, listen, whatever. You want to fucking abort a baby? Go ahead. Blow that fucking baby's brains out in your fucking little womb. Whatever, right? It's just clump cells. Whatever. But you have to understand, guys, there is a certain level of irresponsibility of a woman to be going around and relying on abortion as her primary birth care or birth control form. These women are getting multiple birth abortions. Okay? Multiple. That is a high level of personal sexual irresponsibility. That's why body counts are through the roof. That's why everything is in complete and utter turmoil. And it's not like I'm not hating on women, but these are the objective facts, okay? These are the objective facts. And the truth is what I'm saying now. females without a man to lead them and guide them objectively live lives of chaos. And pop culture is captivating this as well. You know, how many times have we seen a super, super hot girl posting some super sexy photo and her bedroom is like a fucking dumpster? How many different women of different colors and different races and different age groups have we seen that? It is not a coincidence. It is a grandiose secret that a lot of them, dude, these girls are a mess, guys. They are a mess. And it's because the mother before them threw the father out of the house, and you have the chaotic raising the chaotic, which is creating more chaos. And I witnessed it from a young age. I think that's why I'm so good. Like a lot of people, you know, they got red pilled. I was born in the red pill. I witnessed it from, like I said, my childhood was robbed from me. My mom was married to a guy, my youngest brother's father. His name is Bill. And thank God, because from ages 5 to 11, I had some stability in my life because Bill was in the picture. But then after that is when everything just went fucking apeshit crazy. Men offer stability. Men offer a lot. And women need men. Men need women. But I will say this. Women definitely need men more than men need women. And the female chaos is not something to sweep under the rug. They absolutely needed the help. And this is why I tell you guys it's so important you got to learn frame. You have got to get your frame sorted out. There we go. I'm back. Okay. This is why I put it on the wall here. Frame. If you don't have your frame sorted out, you're not going to have a healthy, happy relationship with anybody. How can she fall into your frame when you don't even know what your frame is? It's important.
You know, they were my nannies for a while, and I lived with them, and then they had like these 2 adopted boys that lived with them. But just like, it was just always chaotic because there was no man to be like, hey, relax, you know? And so I saw like, you know, fighting and crying, and I grew up with girls in their bras around me, like putting on makeup and stuff. You know, so I saw the back end of girl world really early, you know what I mean? And I didn't really understand the value of like discipline and stuff. I struggled a lot with discipline. I know it's because I was raised by a woman. That's like not an insult to women or anything, but I know that discipline is something I had to learn that was important, but I didn't realize that until I was like mid-20s. You know what I mean? Really? Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why I work so hard now, you know?
So were there any sports or anything like that coming up? Or what kid were you in junior high school?
Junior high was like just a dork.
Like a gamer, like goth, like what?
Pokemon cards. Yeah. I had to go to church. All high school and junior high school, I was in church.
In the Pentecostal thing, did that come from your mother, or was that an outside source?
Mom. We were Mormon first, and then
my mom was Mormon. We used to have missionaries in the house all the time, man.
Yeah. With the white ties.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, the white shirt and the, you know,
in the black clip.
Yeah, them too.
Yeah, on the bicycles.
We used to give them barbecue. We used to go for the Mormons. We brought them inside, fed them all the time. You know.
Yeah, there was good dudes, man.
No. Yeah, they're good people. You ever been out to Utah?
Fuck yeah, dude. Like Salt Lake City is my second favorite city.
Utah's slept on,
bro. I said this on Fresh and Fit. Salt Lake City has fucking dimes.
Yes.
You know the best part? The best part about it, number one, it's one of the most beautiful cities in America.
They got morals out there,
bro. And you can have fun, and you don't have to get fucked up. See, in Louisiana, if you go outside, bro, it's so fucking hot. You better get drunk.
Yeah.
And the girls are fat.
I went down Bourbon Street one time. That's all I needed to see.
Bro, yeah. Well, now you smell piss. So, but Salt Lake, bro, Salt Lake is so lit because the women are stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
And they've only had sex with missionaries. In missionaries.
Yeah.
Only.
I'm okay. I don't like chicks who want to mileage on them.
Yeah, dude. The mileage on the chicks in Salt Lake City, I approve.
That's good.
Yeah, I approve. They've never.
I don't know if you guys have ever been out to Salt Lake City or to Utah in general, but like, man, the vibe out there is just so fucking good. And it's 1,000% because of the Mormons. And again, going back to the body count study that we talked about last, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago with Paul and myself, why body count matters for females. They talked about like religious attendance going down also shows body count going up. Like I'm saying, the objective data is clear as day that like, straying away from conservative values and straying away from, you know, just like human decency is not a good. Like you have all these idiots like, well, we're not monogamous creatures and blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up, you idiot. Well, like I have impulses to kill because I'm a hunter. Should I smash your fucking head open on a rock as well? Like, cause we're killers as men. We're hunters. So should I just fucking break your brains open because you're running your fucking mouth on some shit that you don't know about? No. Okay. There's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. And for a long time, the Western culture has been doing it very, very wrong when it comes to relationships and dating. And that's why everybody's fucking miserable.
Never even had the hair pulled.
That's
I
fantastic.
love Salt Lake.
That's good. No, I just went there and I just felt good in the atmosphere.
It's incredible.
It felt clean.
It
like,
is
you know?
clean. It's clean.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a Mormon church. Like Walgreens has nothing on being on every corner the way a Mormon church does in Salt Lake City.
Really?
Yeah, bro. I mean, there's a church on every fucking like it's per neighborhood, man.
The Jesus hustle is real, bro.
Bro, I've said this many times before. I think it probably pisses people off, bro. But church is big business.
Oh, bro, I say that all the time.
Big business, bro.
We'll get into that part of my story when I realize that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you're a dork in junior high.
Yeah.
You're playing Pokemon. Did you Pogs and shit?
I did do Pogs and I
Okay.
did marbles still.
Okay, so that's turbo gay. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So all right, cool. I'm glad we got that straight, man, because that's very important. It's very important, guys. One of my main goals of doing this show is to show the guys the other like our Instagrams are all nice, right?
For now.
Show the guy, yeah, for now. To show the guys like it wasn't what you think. You know, like
Oh,
it
no.
had to be hard. You can turn your life around because a lot of guys I feel like give up and they
Yeah.
get down on themselves and they either go black pill or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
so you're in junior high. You're probably not kissing girls at Sadie Hawkins dance. You're playing Pogs with the boys.
I had a girlfriend in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I wasn't a dork in that.
Nice.
Because like I told you, I grew up behind the scenes in women world, so I wasn't afraid to talk to girls.
So
You know?
you had that comfortability.
Yeah, I would always talk to them. And I had a Brazilian girlfriend in 6th grade, I had a black girlfriend in 7th grade. In 8th grade, I had a half black girl.
So you're a Baskin Robbins motherfucker, like 31 flavors.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a loving man. Come on.
You were in multiple LTRs, as Richard Cooper would say. Damn, bro. I'd reach out to beef you for that, man. Okay, cool. So you had these girlfriends,
Right.
I'm assuming, and I hate to be so immature about it, but we are.
And just little note here. We were totally like vibing so well. Like, did you notice that we kind of mimicked each other's body language? Which this is how in sync we are. And I gotta say, man, Justin Waller is just a very like. I know you. I guess a lot of you guys don't have access to him because I just think everybody has the world access to me. But Justin is like, this is not fake. Justin is legitimately like a salt of the earth, like good guy. And he's ultra successful. He's actually the same age as me. But he is like, whoo, he's way richer than me. And I'm fucking rich. But you know, Justin is a great guy and he always has a great demeanor. You know, he bought me food when I was there. I asked one of the assistants, I said, hey, can you go get me a sugar-free Gatorade? And he came back with a regular Gatorade. And Justin's like, didn't he tell you to come back with a fucking sugar-free Gatorade? And I was like, yeah, Justin, it's okay. Drink. He's like, no, it's not. And Justin like took the fucking Gatorade and threw it off of his balcony onto like this abandoned little railroad tracks below us. He's like, go downstairs and get this man what he wants. And, you know, they're young kids, you know, we got to kind of like rough them up a little bit. And yeah, Justin is a class act, man. Justin is seriously, there's not enough good I can say about this guy. He's a great guy. He's seriously a great guy.
Talking about 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I'm assuming you were around first, second base there.
What is second? Seeing the tits?
I guess. I forgot.
I got to second base when I was in freshman year of high school.
Nice.
Heather, she was a redhead.
Ah,
Big titties. I remember
nothing like a ginger, bro.
when I saw her titties, I remember my stomach sank. Like I was just like, oh my God, this is great. You know, we were making out listening to Limp Bizkit.
Dude, I listened to Limp Bizkit as a kid.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Okay, cool. So you had the 3 long-term relationships in junior high, which
Right.
is super interesting.
Right.
31 flavors. You get to 9th grade. Is this redhead a hookup or is this a girlfriend?
Hookup. She's a bad girl.
One of those.
She was, you know, now
That girl that everybody knows.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about.
because we grew up kind of same generation. I think what are you, class 2004?
5.
Five.
But I failed 6th grade. We should have.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
exactly.
By the way, I failed 6th grade. I didn't get held back. I failed. So
I did not feel it. But maybe I should
yeah,
have.
December 85.
December, did you burn? December?
Yeah, December 85.
Me too. December 2nd.
Yeah, Andrew's December 1st.
I'm the
86.
alpha cop G. I think he's 86.
He was 86.
Yeah, I'm 85.
We're like 362 days apart. Yeah, me and him.
Yeah, man. And he's killing it. You know?
Yeah. In fact, man, you know what? Just the shit that's going on with him right now is absolute horseshit. But you know what?
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you he'll beat it.
I am looking, because you listen, you know, I talk about crypto all the time. You know, Miguel and Charlie and all them. I think I'm looking forward to a future where there's like blockchain based social media that's not censorship. Like
It'll
you can't censor. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Something will happen.
I want to see Mark Zuckerberg begging on the road for money after doing all the censorship on his platform, because people, I don't think anybody likes censorship. I think only like the elites or the people who want to control people, the dorks. But I think if you're gangster enough, like, you know, you don't need to censor someone to beat them.
Right.
You know what I mean? If your message is that solid, if you have to go to the lengths of, I got to censor this person, like, okay,
Right.
like, you're a bitch. You know,
Yeah,
you got no
absolutely.
backbone in your fucking argument.
Absolutely. But I'll tell you, the thing is that, especially in regards to what's going on with Andrew, is I feel like no man that's ever achieved anything great had an experience where he wasn't attacked the way Andrew's getting attacked right now.
Yeah.
It's a sign that he has pushed the ball down the field, and just like Trump or just like anybody in the past that really went after something big, they are going to be attacked. And I think that this is a result of that, which in a lot of ways is a sign of accomplishment. And you won't be able to censor him. There's too many people that love him. There's too many people that are going to post his shit anyway. And to be quite honest, I mean, to probably make another account tomorrow, they'd have to find him in time, but I think it's just I know it's just the beginning for what he's going to do, and this is just a bump in the road that he'll look back at. And when they talk about him, they'll say he overcame it, and it just is what it is.
I hope so. I'm cheering for him.
Yeah, I believe that.
I hit him up on today on WhatsApp. I was like, dude, I saw your IG. It's gone. I'm like, are you okay? It's all good, G. So I wish nothing but tremendous success for both of them. Not that they even need my wishes to make it happen. They're going to make it happen.
One thing that we were laughing about the fact that I haven't been doing YouTube very long. And I was riding around. We're fresh today.
You said he settled into his YouTube fame quite nicely.
Yeah,
I've been grinding since 2015. Still haven't reached that many subs. But he's killing it. He's killing it.
I've been really blessed, man. And I'm very appreciative. I told Fresh today, because we're talking about Andrew, and I said, one thing that I've experienced that I feel like I've grown from, one thing I've looked at, and it's probably come from Andrew quite a bit, is that I determine whether I'm going to be friends with someone on the basis of would I be friends with them if they did not have their platform, And the thing about Andrew is that Andrew.
I think I pretty much share the same sentiment, because I openly voice my opinions on who I don't like pretty freely, despite them having a platform or not.
You take Cobra Tate away, and he's still fucking Andrew.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I believe in the man overcoming the situation. I'm not worried about the brand, because the man is going to come through it. And so I
thank you, Morgan. Send your hot 22-year-old friends to my DMs on Instagram, Hot Dude Life.
know that for a fact. And
now this ain't nothing for him. I think he's going to be great.
Fine.
But that it's true. Like we were talking about it before. Like, I think what makes a man great is a man who overcomes adversity, because adversity comes for all people, right? But overcoming it is a skill set that I think a lot of guys quit now more than ever.
Right.
We have that TikTok generation. After 7 seconds, I don't like the way it makes me feel. Flip it. But that's the big thing. I think that's why I've had so much success with what I do with YouTube, because I had to overcome a lot. But I never cried over spilled milk. I was like, hey, this is the way it is. Nobody cares about me. Like, there's nobody come to save me.
Right.
So I need to figure this out because I'm running out of time.
So let's go back to that.
Yeah.
You're ninth grade.
Ninth grade.
You see redheaded titties.
It was great.
But who are you in high school?
So high school, I started
evolution. There.
Yeah, I started to change big time. So at first in high school, freshman year, I was in NJROTC because I knew I needed discipline. At that young age, I realized I need some kind of discipline.
I'm really glad you said that, because I think one of the biggest hacks you can ever make in life is identifying something that you're not going to be disciplined about and then throwing yourself into something where you're forced.
Yeah.
Because environment is such a huge thing.
I do that a lot to myself, But yeah, you'll find that recurring in the story.
So you threw yourself into this thing where you knew you'd have to perform.
So,
yeah, I went to my guidance counselor and fought for it because they gave me I don't know, they wanted me to go to Latin or something. I was like, nah. Like, I'm changing this electoral.
Clearly, I'm white.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to do any of this. Like, get me an ROTC. So it was like 2 weeks into the school year already starting. Then I started. But that's where I met my best friend, and that's the rich kid. Yeah, the rich kid. And I go in this house. I'm like, oh my God, you guys rich. You got food, you got pool. You got like 3 TVs for the skinny ones,
My friend like that, his name is Tyler Juno. He actually is my Edward Jones guy now. I was the best man at his wedding. Shout out to Tyler. He loves to make fun of me about everything.
What is Edward Jones? Insurance?
No, man, it's investing. So I've been sending him $500 a month since I was like 25.
Okay.
So he just takes it and he puts it in, the stocks and shit, and takes his money away from me.
That's good.
His fiduciary duties.
Somebody's got to take all that away from you.
Somebody's got to take it away. So it's all good. I love him. So anyway, so you throw yourself into this thing.
Right.
And physical pain must have come, right? You guys had to do drills or no?
Yeah, we were drilling in the hot Florida heat in the summer. The biggest thing was every Wednesday you had to wear a uniform, and you had a uniform inspection. So one thing is I've always played video games my whole life, right? And so 6th and 7th grade I was playing video games.
What games?
Final Fantasy.
I don't know what that is.
Strategy games, RPG, right?
Gotcha.
Where you have to think a couple steps ahead, kind of like this chessboard here.
Kind of like life.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I always like getting the highest scores possible. I'm a completionist, I'm a perfectionist, right? Okay. So we had 100 was the maximum score. It was your haircut, your presentation of your pants, the shirt stays, everything, your awards, your medals, and all that jazz. And that was every Wednesday. So I learned that I had to wake up, I had to press my uniform, I had to shine my shoes, I had to shine my belt buckle. I had to be on time, I had to have a proper haircut. And my mom just wasn't. She was too busy trying to keep the lights on to really raise us. Right. From 11 years old, I was watching my brother and sister to go back. My mom would be like, okay, like I'm going to work. She had to work in a nightclub, to be a bartender, bring home money. Cause she was making like at that time, like, sometimes $600 a night. That was in 98, 99, you know what I mean? So it was good money, but she had to do it. Then she would come home at like 4 a.m. Like, just lock the door, like staying here. I'm going to be back. So I had to take on responsibility early, but because she didn't have a lot of time to raise us, and that really made me realize I wasn't as disciplined. So I joined the ROTC, and then in ninth grade, I started getting involved in weightlifting for the first time. I took weightlifting as an elective. I took two. It was weightlifting and then ROTC because I knew I needed.
Nice.
Yeah, I knew I needed to do something about it. Then I joined crew rowing boats, but I was not a rower. I was a coxswain. The guy was sat at the front because I was too skinny. They're like, "Oh, you can't row, but we'll make you the guy."
John said he's a coxswain.
Yeah, they have the little under the boats. They have it's two little ropes that you steer the direction of the boat to guide the guys rowing.
And you're taking the power in navigating it.
You have to steer, and you have to wear a headphone, and like you have to call the cadence for them to row at.
Okay, cool.
So I learned that at that time, like the responsibility of not myself, but also 8 other people. Because if you steer the boat wrong, you're gonna crash no matter what. All they can do is emergency brake with the oars in the water. So I did that for only a few months though, because I didn't like it, because I just had to sit there and it really wasn't athletic. So I quit then. And then sophomore year is when I started, where I joined the wrestling team. And so I was 125. I wrestled for my sophomore year and junior year. And so wrestling, if you've ever done it, that is the most challenging sport you can do in high school, in my opinion, because you redline your body to the absolute max, and you have to go out there by yourself and fight a complete stranger in front of an audience of people at 15, 16, 17 years old, So that taught me a lot about tenacity, and because wrestling workouts are grueling, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it just taught me how to really push, how to redline my body, how to redline my mind, and just push forward. And, I think every guy should learn how to fight too. And I think it tapped into something primal. It gave me an edge for sure, because I hung out at church, right? During high school, I was like the alpha male kid at my youth church. The youth church was about 100 to 200. And there was this acting program that was called the Fine Arts Festival. So every year of high school, 9th grade to 12th grade, I was acting. I was doing something on stage and competing. And I won first place in the nation in 2003 in New Mexico when I was 16 years old, and we beat like thousands of people with our acting team. You had to travel. So yeah, it was all the Assemblies of Gods. This is called Fine Arts Festival. And all the Assemblies of Gods would compete against each other in all these things: choir, short drama skit.
And this is where I got a lot of my social skills too, because I think a lot of you guys kind of grow up like being social recluses. Brian Nichols says, "Quick talking so fast. Listen. I'm not talking fast. You're listening slow. All right." And it's on 1.5 speed, so catch up. But that's one thing that was a really kind of gave me a taste of victory, and a taste of, how can I say, a taste of glory at a young age. I was very socially dominant in the youth church. The youth church had about 300 to 400 students there, and I was one of the most popular kids. And then when I won the national championship, I really got a taste of like what it's like to be the top dog, what it's like to be the alpha male of a group. And then, the haterade that came with it too, because then all the girls started liking me because I was like the chief. I'm the guy that won. I'm the guy that won the youth competition, and I was the best in America. And then, all the girls came after me. It was Shayna, Jackie, Crystal, all these chicks. Veronica was my girlfriend for a while, and Jessica, and then I was being a bad boy. I was like, sucking on titties in the fucking in the choir room. And there was Cynthia too. Like I had a bunch of girls when I was 15, 16. We're just like making out and touching each other. That's like church naughtiness. And that kind of like, again, it cut my teeth. I didn't have like this typical red pill story, like I was a loser, and then I read Rollo's book, and now I'm an alpha. Like it wasn't like that for me. Like I learned in the real world, and I never really had a red pill moment. I had I think there were graduations in my red pill understanding as I went through life, right? And there was a lot that I learned at a young age. Thank God to the church, the circles there, and then winning the championship and kind of getting a taste of glory at a young age. And then every year, like from that year, so I won in my sophomore year, and then I placed first place in the state of Florida for some kind of category every year until my senior year. Then I led a group of guys as well, and it was kind of like a funny thing, because it was like a foreshadowing of what I'm doing now, but I led a group, an all men's group, to win second place in the state of Florida for our competition. And the team that got first place so happened to be the girl who was also judging her own team. So she was the judge and she was the leader of her own team, and she gave her fucking team a perfect score. And that's when I kind of like was like, I was like 19 at the time too, because I was fucking livid. I was like, how the fuck is this even happening? How are you people letting this happen? She is a judge and she's giving her team a perfect score. And how is this allowed in the rules? You know, her name was Ursula, real dog shit of a human. She's fat now, so it's okay. I win. But yeah, you know, that really just kind of you know, red pilled me even harder on like female treachery and shit like that. And then kind of like rigged games and how shit's not really fair for you as you get older. So I just had like a lot of accelerated learning up when I grew up here. I was forced to grow up quickly. You know what I mean? Like we had no dad growing up. And then so like when I was like 9 and 10, I remember I was like 10. I picked up a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese and I just started reading it. I was like, I think I can cook this. And I started cooking it, and I cooked it for myself and I cooked it for my brothers and sisters because my mom was off. When my mom didn't have, after we lost access to Mercedes and them, and I was like, you know, like 9, 10, 11, I started watching after my brother and sister. And my mom would leave at like 4:00 and she's like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to lock the door. She's like, do not answer the door for anybody. Here, there's food here. There's this there. And I'm going to be home at like 11. And my mom would leave me at home, and it would be me, my brother, and my sister. And we would be, you know, watching TV, and hopefully there would be some cereal or some kind of food laying around. We didn't have much food around the house. And like food was just such a scarce thing. I think that's kind of like when I got some money in like 2019 and 2020, I just got fucking fat because I was just like eating all the time. I was just like, yeah, baby, pizza, 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 pizza. We're having pizza topped with crushed Doritos and drinking fucking Coke Zero. And I think that's a part of the reason why I kind of gained a little weight, because food was just always a scarce thing for me. And like I said, just growing up so like in just constant chaos and constantly being traumatized every like 1 to 5 months, like emotionally traumatized, physically traumatized, you know, being shamed in the church, whatever. It just like really forced me so hard to like wake up, and it kind of robbed me of my childhood. But you know, it is what it is. My childhood was robbed from me, but I, you know, became the man that I am today, which I'm really happy about. Let's continue here.
It's music, stand-up comedy, everything with a clean Christian touch to it. And I had participated every single year. And sophomore year, I won first place in the state of Florida. And then the national championship was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I won first place there. Performed in front of like 3,000 to 4,000 people when I was like 16. Took a bow on stage. Gave me a real taste of like what real victory was like at a young age. So do something, you know, win a national championship. And really helped me develop a lot of social skills and stage presence, which I think translates well to YouTube.
Right. I was going to ask you that. Do you think that experience allowed you to taste something that you felt like you wanted to build upon further in your YouTube?
So I never thought that.
Because YouTube's obviously not a thing when this happened to you.
No. At that time, the whole time I was doing this, I just wanted to be a rich guy. And as a poor kid.
You wanted to be rich as a kid?
Yeah, because I saw all the rich people.
Shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I was just like, I did this as a hobby, it was fun. But in my mind, I was like, I got to figure out how to get rich. I started working when I was 15. You know, I worked at Chick-fil-A. And then I worked at Expressmen's, and then I worked at Universal Studios, and I was just always chasing the next higher pay. And I was obsessed with it. And then I thought, as a poor kid,
young?
What, you mean, started working?
No, how young? No, not started working, but really started thinking about wanting to be a rich man.
When I was like 13, for sure. Really? I saw my mom crying on the floor of bills, and I remember I felt so powerless.
So it came from pain.
Yeah, I felt powerlessness. Yeah, no dad, take care of mom. You know, at that time, your mom is the strongest person in the world to you. You know, because that's your parent, and you see her like in this broken, crying state, and you want to help her. Fuck. You know, I was always so mad that I didn't have money. Always mad. Really? Always very, very angry. Very angry.
So you feel like your motivation came from anger?
Anger and pain. Yeah. You know, and that's why like nowadays I've made it, whatever. And that's why anything my mom needs, just whatever. You know, nice. Just got to take care of her. And but yeah, so I started wrestling and doing that stuff in high school. And then the competition, I won a first place in the state of Florida and the nation for 10th grade, and then 11th grade and 12th grade, I won the first place in Florida for multiple things. And then but I never won nationals again. I only won nationals one time. I went and I competed at nationals.
You think that, so you didn't wrestle your junior and senior year, right?
No, I wrestled sophomore and junior year.
Got you. Do you think your success in the stuff with the church led you to double down on your focus there and get out of wrestling, or did you just stop enjoying it?
I just think I just was so much more popular at youth church. I was the popular kid. I was like the alpha male, hooking up with girls in the choir room, not having sex, but whipping the titties out. I'm 16 and 17. I'm like, oh my God, But that's where I was enjoying myself the most. And I met a Puerto Rican alpha male kind of guy there, right? And so his name was Eric.
Older?
Yeah. He was like 23. Yep. He was 23. I was like 16. And this guy was like, he was like good looking. He was jacked. All the girls loved him, bro.
You know what's funny about that? We used to have this thing called the Back Door, which was this Wednesday night church. And I used to always sit there in like 9th grade and be like, look at this fucking asshole. 20, 22 years old, like substantially older than us. We're freshmen, like out of high school.
Yeah.
And like dating a kid in my grade.
Oh.
Doing it under the veil of Jesus.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying, though?
Eric didn't do that.
Right. So, but some of our dudes did. Like, they played that game. Like, Jesus' game is real.
Yeah.
Jesus' game is super real. So, but this guy was
I don't know. For me, that's just so weird to like be out of high school and then dating someone in high school. I don't know. That should just never even appeared to be an option to me. It was just so fucking weird, man. I don't know. Actually, so when I was 18 and 19, I started dating a girl actually who was older than me. So I was 19 and she was 22, 23. Her name was Crystal. And she was like my first starter girl. You know what I mean? Because as a man, you got to get your starter girl, right? And the black community, they call her your starter hoe. But Crystal wasn't a hoe. And that girl is the one that you learn all the game on. You learn how to hold frame. You know, you got to learn how to. I was bossing it up early. Okay. So when I was there at church and stuff, dating Crystal was head over heels in love with me, right? And I'm a good looking guy. I've always been good looking. And I was 19, you know, chatted out. And I remember Crystal was just like totally all about me. And then I remember one time, like, she had done something that pissed me off. And I was just like, okay, well, you know, you've pissed me off. And what you did was not okay. And I remember, like, I just had a good idea of frame since I was young, because I just had to always be by myself. I always had to I had to raise myself. And I had learned from a young age that if you don't stick up for yourself and you don't defend yourself, people will take advantage of you, and people will take you wherever they want you to be for their benefit. So when a woman would commit an infraction against my rights or my personal settings, my personal standards, I would hold them accountable quickly. I remember one time Crystal was like, did some shit that really pissed me off. And, I know what it was. Okay. So I would always disappear on Saturday afternoons, right? I would disappear between like 12 and 4 p.m. And I never told Crystal where I was going, right? I would just get in my little beat up Mercury Tracer, and then I would go and I would disappear. And I would go and I would be back at another time, right? And so Crystal, she thought I was cheating on her. Okay. She thought I was cheating on her, which I was, but not on Saturdays between 12 and 4 p.m. Okay. I would cheat on her with Cynthia, and I would just go to Cynthia's house at night. She was this naughty little Brazilian girl that was at church. She would sneak out of her place at night, and we would make out and hook up in my car. And Crystal thought like something was up. So one day she like secretly followed me to where I go on Saturdays. And every Saturday I would sneak away and I would go to these like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, and I would fucking clean house at these places. I would hustle these guys. I would hustle people for like, you know, first edition Jinzos, first edition Blackluster Soldiers, Envoy of the Beginning. I would just like, I would hustle these shits. I remember when Lightning Vortex came out. This is like all Yu-Gi-Oh talk for you guys that are maybe not know about this. And I would go there and hustle these dudes, and I would enter these tournaments and I would clean house. It was a nerdy hobby, and I wasn't fully comfortable with myself as a man yet. So I thought like I had to hide these nerdy hobbies from her. And then so I would go and I would dominate these kids and fucking just come back, and I would get the cards and I would sell them, and I would have money, And I'd go like buy weed and smoke weed or fucking buy video games, whatever fucking idiot kid shit I was doing at the time. Well, Crystal was following me and she was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "What are you doing here?" She's like, "Wait, have you been playing this Yu-Gi-Oh game every weekend?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What the fuck are you doing following me? Like, what are you, a fucking spy? This is not okay." And I was like, "This is totally not okay. You can't just be spying on me and follow me around. What the fuck is wrong with you?" Right? So she was like relieved, but then upset. Like I was upset with her. And I remember like, okay, I was like, I was like, you need to go home and you need to think about what the fuck you did, because this is not okay. Then she was like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't trust you, blah, 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 blah." Right. And so I remember like, that's when I started really maximizing my frame. And I remember when I was upset with her, I was like, "You need to go to Chick-fil-A and you need to get me a number one, and you need to add cheese and you need to add bacon, and you need to bring me a large diet lemonade that is half filled, and then the other half is high C fruit punch, and I need a buffalo chicken sauce with that and some ketchup, and I need that with a quickness." And I remember like she went and she did it like this, like boom. And that's all. I was just like, "God damn, I'm a fucking pimp." I was like, I was 19 when I was running games. She was like 22, 23, right? And I was just like, "I'm the fucking man." And so and then from there, I just like understood that women wanted to be led and they wanted to be taken care of. And I remember one time, like Crystal she started to gain a little bit of weight, and I wanted to stop dating her. And I was just like, "All right, like you need to lose 20 pounds in 3 months or I'm breaking up with you." And she fucking lost 20 pounds. She like was running on the treadmill. She was counting her calories and she did everything. And so, I got a really accelerated learning experience in my childhood and in my younger youth. And, just through being forced to make it. And I think a lot of people, you have to understand that the people who have been victims of the blue pill, these are people that typically had coddled lives. They had security. The blue pill is a luxury, right? When you grow up poor and shit, go to the fucking hood and you tell me how many fucking blue pilled black dudes there are. Blue pilled hood people there are, bro. It's not, because they've grown up in abject poverty and that shit forces you into reality. Same thing with me, right? I know I just need to give a real quick shout out to my homies over on Rumble. We got 60 plus people watching on Rumble. Hit you with the Final Fantasy VII victory. Shout out to you guys, and then shout out to everybody on YouTube with how many people watch on YouTube? Like 130 something, and we got people on Twitch as well. So exactly, yeah, Brian Nichols. It's funny, I knew a guy named Brian Nichols in my church group, right? What happened to her? She married a fucking dude that like prayed the gay away. I'm not even joking. His name is David. We jokingly, well, I jokingly called him David, but like he used to be gay or whatever, and then he prayed the gay away, and then he married Crystal and they have kids. God bless them. They're happy. They prayed the gay away. It worked. Anyways, let's go back to this here.
Probably a legit alpha.
He was. No, he
because I think a lot of times a guy that is legit like that, he can just go get chicks his own age.
Yeah.
At 20, 22,
Yeah, and he like something, I don't know, he liked me for some reason, and for like 2 years he like took me under his wing, and that's where I kind of got a lot of my masculine knowledge from, like a role model. Like I'm like, oh, this is what a man is like, because I'm always at home.
How would you define a man? What do you think it takes to be a real man?
I would just say this: if you're a real man, if you are truly doing what you want to do, truly doing what you want to do.
Choice.
Yeah, like if you're like a male nurse, but you're like, I want to be a male nurse. I got this plan. I'm happy. Girls like, I don't like you because you're not a male nurse. Like, good bitch, peace out. Because I love being a male nurse.
Right.
Just being congruent and happy with what you are. That's my strongest point. Is like I am what I am. And I own it 1,000%. I'm aware of my flaws, but I'm also aware of all my successful attributes. And I think a guy that just does what he wants to do. And for me, this is a little bit ego, but I don't care. But I just think when a man decides to say, you know what, fuck everybody, fuck all these companies, I'm gonna make my own money. I'm gonna go get my own money. I think that's very, 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 I hate to use the word. I think that's very, very alpha. You know what I mean? Just to be like, no, I'm gonna make my own fucking rules. I'm gonna go get my own money. I don't need any handouts. That's some gangster shit to do.
Yeah.
Most people don't do that.
Well, you're betting on yourself.
Yeah.
And there's a long way down.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that I think all of us guys in this space for sure have made a decision to do, and it's definitely against the grain. And I think everybody watching any of our channels probably ideally wants to do the same thing.
I don't think there's an upside because have you ever read this book called Unscripted by MJ DeMarco?
No, I've never read it.
He wrote the first book was Millionaire Fastlane.
I've heard of that book.
Okay, so when you're not a millionaire like I was a couple years ago, I wanted to be one. So you read a lot of books about it.
Is this digital marketing type stuff?
No, it was like one of the most red pill fucking books about finance ever.
Yeah.
He wasn't even trying to be red pill, right? So he talks about it, and then he wrote a sequel to it called Unscripted, like living your life totally freely.
Right.
And he broke down the math of starting things on your own versus staying in the corporate world in such a clear and logical way that it was clear as day that staying in your corporate job is suicide.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and I was like 32 when I read the book. And once I know the truth about something, right? Like once,
You can't learn it.
no, I have to act on it.
Yeah.
Like if a girl pisses me off or she does something that internally is like, bitch, you are dead to me, and I don't get rid of her, it'll just eat away at me until she has to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I read this book, and like it was irrefutable knowledge. This was in 2018. And every day my stomach's like, you pussy. You don't want to quit your job, you fucking pussy, And it was eating away for like 2 weeks after I finished the book. And then I just went to my boss. I was like, listen, dude, I'm out. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The quarter
You
before.
wish I'd let you tell that story right now. You got to go back to senior year, G.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, I'm all over the place.
Alpha.
Sorry. So the alpha guy.
Jesus Alpha guy.
Yeah, you gotta wrangle me in here.
I do it all the time. So Jesus Alpha guy's there.
Jesus Alpha guy. Eric.
And he had a pivotal place in your life. That's where kind of, so I don't know if maybe this overkill, but kind of some father figure. Yes.
No, for sure. Big brother. He would even kick my ass. Like, and I learned, I was like, damn, they're gonna like learn how to fight. This guy's gonna fuck me up.
Yeah.
So I learned how to fight a little bit too, because I'd wrestle. He could not stop a takedown to save his life. Nobody who doesn't wrestle can, right? And so I always did that. But he was, I was 16, he was 23, and he was a big boy,
right?
And he was muscular, but he taught me a lot, right? And then I also learned some harsh red pill realities because there's this one girl I liked in church, right? She was 18, because it was a couple years later, and she totally liked Eric, and I wanted her to like me, and I was just like, damn, like this guy's the fucking. And I just it is what it is. You just have to accept it. But it opened my eyes quickly. I learned very quick all these truths about life. And I was like,
I forgot about that bitch. Yeah, her name was Liza. I was head over heels for that girl. And then Eric was Eric is like fucking Chad. He was this Puerto Rican guy, also raised by a single mom, and he was like a hothead. He was a good looking guy. He was jacked. He was like one of those guys that just like naturally jacked, and he had tattoos and stuff, and like the chicks just fucking loved Eric, right? And he was smooth criminal. And I remember like he was just like, I was just totally about this chick. And like, we like were kind of like dating for a little bit, like the church dating. I'm going to hold her hands, whatever. But then I guess he decided he wanted her and he went for her. And, that like just opened my eyes too. I was like, shit, this guy's out here like swooping the girls that I want. And I was just like, and I felt so powerless. And I was like, but there is a way. Like I was never, I was never like a guy who would be permanently hopeless. I would never fall into that because it's like a luxury. You know what I mean? Like it's a luxury to be like, oh, I'm fucking doomed. Like I didn't have that luxury. Like I had to survive, or like I would starve, or I would have no money. I would have nothing going for me. And I didn't have the luxury to like sit around. Like a lot of these guys in the black pill and blue pill, whatever, who are just like miserable, right? These guys, they have the luxury of mom and dad taking care of them, or working, and mom and dad giving them some money here and there, paying for their cell phone, whatever. Like if I didn't work, if I didn't take care of myself, it's it. Like I'm going to go into the streets, right? And those streets are cold, man. Nothing out there but a bunch of streetwalkers too. And so I couldn't do that. I wasn't afforded that luxury. So that's one thing I'll tell you guys is like, look, you're allowed to have moments of weakness and, failure and self-pity, whatever. That doesn't indicate you being a failure of a person. But what does indicate you being a failure is if you stay down there and you hold on to the misery and the sadness, and you let it define your reality, right? Because the thing is this, it doesn't feel sexy when you're working hard and you're going through the hard shit and you're doing all the bad the fucking shit that you're seeing no fruit of the labor. It's very disheartening, but you have to understand that there is a silent, unseen force of your labor taking action, like, to make your dreams come true, right? It's sometimes we don't, because we live in such like an instant gratification society that we don't realize like good things do take time to grow, and it does take time. But sitting down and feeling sorry for yourself or feeling hopeless, it's never a good thing. It's just never going to be good for you at all.
Damn, because I got girls too at that time. I had girls in church, and I was a popular kid, especially after winning. You win, and then they bring you back to the church. Yeah, they say this is the team who won. So I experienced like this fame when I was young, and I was very red pilled on a lot of things very early. You know what I mean? And then so then Eric, but eventually as I grew older.
Is that the real Myron? Because I don't think he's not moderator. Myron, you popped in the other day. I said, text me if that's the real Myron. Because if it is the real you, I'm gonna fucking make you a moderator so people can see that you are the real deal. Let me know. That's him. How do you guys know it's him? Can you click on him and go to his channel? Hide users on his channel, add moderator. Go to channel. Oh, I can go to his channel. Let's see. Ooh, no, it's not him. That's a fake. It's not him. You guys got. Unless his channel has no content on it, which it doesn't. That's a fake. You guys fell for it. You see? Top GMLD. Busted.
I think so I graduated. I don't think you knew this about me. Graduated high school, right? Went to community college, was an idiot, just wouldn't pay attention, flunked out, and decided that like I needed to give my life fully to Jesus, right?
No shit.
Yeah, no, I need a drink.
Damn.
I need a drink for this.
Somebody get John some tequila. It's right there.
Oh, I don't know what tequila.
They got vodka.
Can you make a margarita? Can you make a margarita?
Margarita. I don't drink margaritas around here.
I'm on vacation.
Sterling would. If Sterling would here, he would do it.
I'm on vacation,
Yeah, Sterling would do it in a second.
Margaritas, baby. Oh my God, Sterling is funny, man. Rolo had to come to Jesus talk with me, thinking I was an alcoholic because you two degenerates were giving me drinks last time I was here. Like I went to lunch with Sterling. It's 12 o'clock. Like, let's order some caipirinhas. Strong Brazilian drinks.
Yeah, I know what caipirinha is. I worked in Texas de Brazil right out of college.
Oh, did you? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I had no choice.
That's a great restaurant.
Yeah, it's great.
That's with the red card and green.
It's fire if you're not working there. If you're eating there, it's good.
Oh yeah,
if you're working there, you failed at life.
I worked at Olive Garden.
Yeah,
yeah, I had to do that too. What did you do?
Huh? I didn't let you get out of talking about your story. So what was it about you and Jesus?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so
what's so funny because I guess Justin is just very structured interviewer, but for me, like I just go with the flow when I have a conversation, and that's why I'm so fun to be around. Is like when I'm having a conversation with somebody, we just organically flow and go all over the place, and it's just so much fun. Like you guys have met me in real life, you know what a deal is. But yeah, shout out to Justin for keeping me pulling in the reins on me.
Wait, the tables, it was shit.
Yeah, I would edit too. So anyways, I graduate and then I go to community college. I don't like it. Then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give my life to Jesus. So I go to this Pentecostal school.
I've got to stop you.
Okay.
Because I think there's something probably here. Most of the time when somebody makes that decision, it's in a low point. Were you in a low point or were you just gliding along, knocking life out of the park and just decided you'd add, JC to the equation?
No, I had always felt, okay, so let me go back to my mom. I was always pressured to be a good Christian boy. And I was constantly told, you better repent because the rapture is coming. I lived in fear of the rapture, where all the Christians disappear.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
And so when he
comes out and the graves bust open, that whole deal. Yeah. Revelations, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. When I had backslidden and gone to community college and decided to pursue a secular life, I was pretty brainwashed in the church.
Right. So you were straight when you were filling up titties at church.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I felt bad for, fornicating, in the Lord's house of all things. But so I was just living in this guilt. I was like, I didn't know how to behave in the secular world. Because I was really grew up in the church, like pretty isolated, you
I
know.
get it.
But I loved
I
it.
grew up in Louisiana, Bible Belt, so
Yeah.
I completely understand where you're coming from.
You know, I was happy, super, super happy. And so I was like, I'm just going to go find my happiness back in church. So I was totally happy.
Do you think you were just isolated when you were at junior college and you missed the camaraderie and the environment of the group setting? Because I mean, that would be very human.
No, because I can make friends anywhere I go.
So you really can't source the decision back to church
What
consciously. Like it wasn't like, hey, I feel this way, I'm going to go back to church and like completely, you know, give myself to God.
Yeah, because from all of high school, I went to church Sunday night, Wednesday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday morning. So I was going to church 4 times a week.
Right.
And then I was also part of all the extracurricular activities, the missions trip. You know, when I was 16, I went to 15, went to South Africa, 16 went to Denmark and Finland, Sweden, and I was doing all these stuff with the church. I was always involved in the church. And yeah, I felt like just all my happiness and positivity came from the church. So I wanted to be like, and my mom was always telling me, like, you know, you have to give your life to the Lord. You know, my mom was really, really all about church a lot. And so she made me get my first job at Chick-fil-A, Christian organization.
Yeah.
Right. And then I gave my first check as a
Tithing?
offering. Yeah, no, as an offering to God for the church's building fund, you know, the whole paycheck.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I always tithed. 10% of everything was like part of my budget for the longest time. And so 19, I decided to go back to church and become a pastor. So I went to school.
No shit.
Yeah.
So you leave community college
Yes.
and go through the process of becoming a pastor.
Right. So in that summer, I was like, I met a girl. Her name was Sierra. And at this time,
This is where I learned more about female treachery. So yeah, so here's what happened. Like I graduated out of high school, and then I was supposed to go to college, right? So where do you go when you're in Orlando and you don't have money, but you want to go to college? You go to Valencia Community College, right? And so I was in Valencia, and I was just doing what every idiot who had no idea what they wanted to do with their life did. I'm going to be a business major, right? And so I was being Mr. Business Major, and you know, looking at everything. It was just it was pretty wild to just see how recklessly these people would give me freaking loans and you know, just shit that I'm just like not qualified to be saying yes to. It was unreal how quickly they're just willing to give me loans and just all this crap, which I finally paid off like 2 months ago. I paid off all my student loans. I am a fucking 100% debt free. At the ripe age of 36, I did it. And my credit score shot right up, bro. Shot right up through the fucking roof, baby. We're just winning on every front over here, boys. And so that was a very kind of just shitty thing. Like I just didn't want to be there, and I didn't really have a good you know, role model or mentor to tell me like no, idiot, don't go to college without a purpose, right? And this is why I stress so hard that like mentorship is so important. Like, you guys don't understand, like, if you don't have a mentor in this life, you don't know what you don't know. And you are absolutely going to be just ruined. Like you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. It is going to be such a chaotic, just blind leading the blind situation. You have to have a mentor to teach you where you want to go in life. That's been happening since the dawn of civilization. Okay. And it's just, Big Daddy BTC, who are you? But yeah, you need a mentor. And like, and again, I'm gonna break the fourth wall. Some people maybe think like, oh, that's MLD. He just wants to shill his masculine empowerment network to say like he needs you need a mentor, and that like, you know, he just really doesn't care. He just wants me to sign up for his product. And you're wrong, okay? Because if you just do any kind of empirical research or anything along that line, right, you'll understand that like since the dawn of civilization, that is so apparent. Like the mentorship model is there. And I went in and I fucking was just like, mom was just like, because she just did what the poor woman does, right? What do poor women say? Okay. When you're poor, what do they say? Go to college, go to college, go to college, go to college. You're poor, go to college. Right. And so, you know, we just didn't have anybody to teach us about money in my family. So I just went the brain dead area, but I didn't want to go to college. I didn't like doing any of this shit and ended up fucking failing out. And you know, I just lost a lot of time, a lot of money, and then you know, I just kind of went back to what I thought I knew. It was like, okay, I'm going to go to the church, because I was still kind of brainwashed with church. You know, I was brainwashed into thinking like, because I legitimately lived in fear of the rapture. Like you guys, I was waiting for to hear the trumpets sound. And one time, like I couldn't get a hold of my mom, my sister, or my brother. I was like, oh my God, the rapture happened. And like, I am fucked. I have been left behind. And now I have to like reject the mark of the beast. And they're going to cut off my head. That's the only way I can get back going to heaven. It was so bad. It was so bad. And then so I ended up like going back to what they call the Master's Commission. The Master's Commission is a Pentecostal program where you sign up and, you know, you do like a year and you give your life to Jesus for a year, and you can't like have sex or date for a year. And that just wasn't happening. I was bad boy. Like I was good for a while, like the first 3 months, but then this story here kind of goes into the drama of females in church and seduction and betrayal and all that. Listen up.
Time you're supposed to do this like 40-day fast. You'd fast from the opposite gender. You would fast as much food as possible. You would fast secular media, books, all that stuff, right? Secular music was a big no-no. So I remember like on one of the last days of my fast, like,
you define secular?
Not on Z88.3 Christian radio.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything that wasn't okay.
Yeah. Like I would got in trouble for listening to 50 Cent.
Okay.
You know, 2002. What was that album called? Get Rich or Die Trying.
Die Trying. Yeah. It had Many Men on it, I think.
Yeah. If I
love that song.
Great album.
Many Men. Yeah.
So I got in trouble for listening to that. And there were spots of degeneracy throughout my high school. Like one time, you know, my mom left for the weekend, and like I remember when she was sleeping, I stole her keys. I went to Kmart, I made a copy of the car key. Yeah. And then when she left, I drove the car around when she's gone. She came back, the gas tank was completely empty. She was like, I have no idea. I thought I had this filled with gas, you know? Yeah. But you know, I decided to go back to church and do this stuff to become a pastor. So I was dating this girl, and it was like day 37. And then she was like, I just miss you so much. I want to come over. And she came over to my apartment, and I broke my fast. It was day 37 or 40. And then she came over and she wanted to make out with me and stuff. So I'm kissing her and making out with her. I'm like, but I'm sinning, you know, I'm, you know, breaking my commitment to the Lord. So I felt so bad about that. I broke up with her after, right? So then I go to the pastor. She hated me after that, right? She's a Puerto Rican girl. And so now application time comes. I get accepted, and now boom, I'm in this program to become a pastor through the church, right? And there's this girl in the program.
You have accepted the girl
pastor. To pastor to be.
Okay.
She was a little bit of a troublemaker in California. She's a Mexican girl. Her name was Vanessa. Huge tits, stupid hot, right? She was just the way I like her too. She was very introverted and quirky. She was perceptive, and she's one of those women when she's introverted and interested in you, she doesn't leave you alone. She's like, so, you know, she keeps on trying to figure out who you are.
Right.
I was being a good Christian boy. And one time I was reading my Bible, because I knew she was always kind of coming after me. I was literally reading my Bible at church at lunch, and she sat across from me. I'm reading my Bible, trying to eat lunch. You know, you're supposed to like everything's supposed to be platonic for that first year. So she's sitting across from me, and she takes her leg and starts like running it up and down my leg. Well, I'm reading the Bible, I'm like, what is this fucking Jezebel doing? Like, you know, and then she ran it up to my crotch and touched like my dick with the tip of her toe. And, you know, that just kind of like awakened the beast that had been dormant, you know? And then I
suppressed.
Yeah. And then I left the table. And then there was this time where we had this like weekend event where we can hang out and stuff. And then it was me, her, and this other girl. And the other girl was like our leader. And she stepped away to go in the other room. And, you know, me and Vanessa just started kissing each other and like making out. And then we started meeting in secret. And then we started having sex, right? Yeah. And we're both in the pastor program. Right. So remember the girl Sierra I told you about?
Yeah. The one you broke up with.
Right. So she had also entered the program. And you live in these dormitories. And so Sierra and Vanessa lived together. And Sierra had kind of been picking up on her girl radar that Vanessa was on to me. And I had started feeling really guilty about having sex with Vanessa. I was like, we are breaking commitment to the Lord. Like, we're here. And I was also seeing this other girl in church. I would sneak out at night, see her. Her name is Jackie. I would have sex with her in her car too. And I started feeling guilty. So one night I wrote this letter to Vanessa. I was like, Vanessa, I love you so much. I'm going to marry you after this program. You know, but we can't keep having sex. We can't keep doing this. It's bad for us. We got to stay apart. We got to finish this commitment to the Lord. And then, you know, we can get married. So I wrote this letter, I gave it to her.
I hate this for you, man. I really wish you were still smashing Vanessa, bro.
So wait,
Okay, go ahead.
wait, the plot thickens. So I give her that. The weekend goes by. I don't hear from her. And then Monday morning, I get called into the director's office. And I'm like, what's going on here? And he's like, you have something you want to tell me? I was like, no. He's like, and he takes out the letter and he puts it on the desk. And I was just like,
Sierra, snatch it.
Sierra stole the letter when Vanessa was sleeping. She stole the fucking letter and then
turned it in.
read it, became enraged with jealousy because she wanted to see that emotional spewing out from me
you,
to her, not Vanessa.
There's nothing more dangerous than a woman scorned. They will go to.
And that dude, female treachery is legitimately like it is alive and well, right? It is so funny because like it's good though. Like not all women will do this to you and like be backstabbing pieces of shit, but I've experienced it before. Like when so I was dating, not really dating. I was seeing some bitch, right? And she's probably watching this broadcast now because you're fucking crazy. And you know, I let her know. I was like, listen, bitch, you don't have what it takes to be number one, ever, right? And you know, women hate hearing the truth, but I was just keeping it 1,000. I was like, listen, you don't have what it takes to be number one. You're number two at best. I admire you. I advise you to take that number two spot and just put it in your pipe and smoke it. Well, she wasn't having any of that. So what does she do? She goes on Instagram, finds girl number one, and starts spamming her and saying, the guy you're dating is disgusting and he's a piece of shit and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, bitch. Is that the way you suck my dick for fucking 3 years in a row? Shut the fuck up, ho. Right? But, you know, it is what it is. So that being said, right, you know, like they will, when they don't get the way, they throw their little female chaos things. They throw their little fucking temper tantrum. And she did that and further solidified my opinion that, bitch, you can never be number one. Because girl number one knows rocking the boat is the number one thing you're not supposed to do. Causing drama is seriously not okay. And remember, we talked with Paul too. Look, guys, money's not everything, okay? But all I know is this. As a man, I'm working on Money Muscles Game Frame on a daily basis. I'm doing myself to get better as soon as possible. I am constantly talking to mentors every day. Today alone, I talked to 3 mentors. You guys, how many of you guys talk to your fucking mentors like that in one day? Okay. I am constantly submitting myself to the tutelage and authority of men who are better than me in Money Muscles Game and Frame. Okay. Money and Muscles, Brandon Carter. Game, King Dre. Frame, Wraith. Paul, Apex Mindset, Inner Masculine. I'm constantly out there trying to make myself as better as possible on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So that being said, right, you have to understand that like the mentorship thing I'm telling you is real. And when you're in a relationship with a girl, you don't take your foot off the gas. You keep making yourself better, better, better. And that is going to allow you to either get a girlfriend that is equal to the chick you've had prior or better. I have not downgraded in women at all, ever in my life. Any girl who gets the great, amazing title of being my girlfriend, okay? Every girl who the title gets passed on to is always an upgrade. All right? So don't be the kind of person who thinks that you can't replace these chicks as long as you're working on yourself. Okay? And it's a lifelong journey. Guys, at 37, there are times where I sit down and I feel lost and confused. I'm like, damn, I don't have it figured out. I'm like, I am lost, and I feel bad. I feel confused. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, how does none of this shit make sense? And like, when you think about it, none of this shit makes sense. We're all floating around on a giant fucking rock that's circling the sun, and everybody we know is going to die one day, and we don't know what happens after we're dying. And for some reason, we have to pay bills, and we're horny. Like, none of this makes sense, right? But it all goes back to the original point of like, you have to understand that by learning game, working on yourself consistently, and having a frame, you're never going to be without a woman. Bro, I do not fear not having a woman in my life. I know I'll always be able to, especially a guy like me. Take my money out the equation, right? Just me as Jonathan. I'm the fucking man, bro. A guy that constantly is working on himself, takes care of himself, has self-esteem, knows how to fight, knows how to make a woman orgasm. I'm fucking catch. I'm a motherfucking catch. So I want you to have the same confidence for yourself as well. Okay? Yeah, shout out to Hussein, Syria. He makes a very good, wise point here. He says, the answer is finding balance between commitment to the Lord and running through everyone. Whether you're a dude or woman, constant sex with no real relationship or commitment, there will be chaos. Yeah, and the damage is far, far, far greater to females than it is to males in regards to promiscuous, non-attached sex. But it does damage men too, which I think a lot of these idiots in the red pill space don't want to admit. But it absolutely does. It absolutely does. Anyway, let's go back here.
To the ends of the earth.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got kicked out. That
Did
day.
you?
That day. Vanessa got to stand.
Moral of the story: you should have fucked Sierra and Vanessa, and everything would have been okay. And you'd be a preacher today.
I don't know.
Feeling
You know,
guilty.
for me, it was just so funny, right? Because that was like really red pilling for me too.
Right. You must have been very angry, especially since you didn't get kicked. She didn't get kicked out with you.
I was more just mad at Sierra. I felt bad about Vanessa, but Vanessa did nothing wrong. I mean, she came on to me. You know?
Right. But then, on all fairness, should you have not both been kicked out for the same act?
We should have, yeah.
But you didn't.
But it was big bad Jonathan.
Yeah.
You know,
just running around dicking down church girls.
looking them all down. I got caught in the choir room before and stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I had a little. There's this other Puerto
We had
Rican
some
girl.
strikes against you.
Multiple. Yeah. But the girls loved me. You know, there was a Brazilian girl.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of them that kept coming after me. There's a bunch of them. So I had a
I don't
little.
know what that's like.
Well, yeah, you do.
No idea.
So from a young age, I had just.
So did it red pill you because
It was betrayal, big betrayal from
you felt betrayal from Sierra?
From Sierra, yeah. I was like, damn, this bitch just ruined my fucking life.
How'd your mom take it?
She was cool. She was
Badass.
like,
it sounds like she's really solid, actually.
as I got old, she's super
But
cool.
all the way around, like really worked her ass off, did her best.
She did. When I was little though, she beat the living fuck out of me, like
fair.
like a Caribbean mother,
Yeah.
like too much, like threw the PlayStation at me,
Right.
it was bad. I would be covered in bruises and stuff. But she was a kid raising kids,
Yeah.
She was 28, 3 kids,
Yeah.
no dad, and bills.
That's tough.
It was very hard for her,
That's tough.
But she's badass. She pulled it off. But she was cool. And then from then I was just like, I was so mad. I was so mad at God. I was so mad at myself. That's when I just went fucking degenerate. Then from that point on, I was like, fine, you want to kick me out? Watch this. So I got fucking mad. So I used to hang out with this Brazilian kid and this Colombian kid, and we were just degenerates. We were bad kids, right? So one night, this Brazilian kid too, he had quit that program, right?
Right.
And
Probably because you were taking all the pussy.
well, he quit and we both were scorned by the program, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So one night when we were out and about, we would always drive around at night and like do crazy shit. One night we found this dead raccoon on the side of the road. And
Been there.
we're like, you know what? Let's put that in the fucking pastor director's office.
Nice.
And so we took the plastic bag, we put this dead raccoon in there, and then we went to the trailer to the office, and we put it in the waiting room under this couch. And then we just waited. And then the next day they found it because I was just so mad. I was like 19. I just felt super betrayed. And then top it off, Vanessa. So what happened was we were having sex. Even after I got kicked out, she kept having sex with me.
Oh, I definitely would have kept smashing.
Oh, I was,
After
of
getting
course.
kicked out, fuck, I'd do everything I could to hit.
Oh yeah, no, she was not interested in saying no.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But then we were young, and then we would never use a condom. So what happened was, she ended up getting pregnant. I don't think I ever talked about this on YouTube too much, but she got pregnant. I was 19, but she got pregnant, and then she, behind my back, went and got the abortion, and then came to me and told me. So now I'm a sinner. I've been kicked out. I'm having unprotected sex. I'm fornicating. And now I just had my wife of the future just had an abortion of my child. So like Christian strike. So I snapped.
So another wave of guilt.
Yeah, and I snapped. That's when I just started doing ecstasy and doing coke and partying and just like the trashiest places. Just if they had drugs and alcohol and women, I was there. And I spiraled from 19. I turned 20, and then in June of 2006, I got arrested for drugs. I got arrested for having weed in my. I was driving around. We were smoking weed, and I had 10 grams of regs, 10.5. Thank you, Officer John Stark. Arrested me. Sat for Winter Park Jail, Winter Park Jail, 4 hours. But then they transferred me to 33rd Street. And then I was down there for like 9 hours. I didn't get put in population. I called this Korean girl that I was trying to bang. I was like, Sarah, I'm in fucking jail. Like, please bail me out. I'll pay back everything. So listen to this. So I did everything to keep this from my mom, right? I went to church so fucking much and the church had so much influence. One of the security guards in the prison went to our church and he saw me. And he fucking called my mom and snitched on her. After I lined up bail, I lined up everything to get out. The next day I got out. My mom had no idea. But he called her and he snitched on me and I was busted. And my mom fucking lost it, screamed at me. It was just the lowest point of my life at that time. I got thrown out of church. I got my baby aborted. I was partying and fucking now I'm in jail. And, but I got out of jail. I had to go through the deterrent thing where you go to like, not rehab, but you go to AA for drugs, what I mean? And you got to go see a counselor and you got to do community service, all
Pre-trial diversion.
the shit to get it expunged. And so I went to jail that summer. And that fall, I was like, that shit scared the fuck out of me. Because you had to do jail tours too.
Jail fucking sucks, guys. Let me tell you something. Jail is not cool. I had nightmares of jail all the way into my late 20s. Like, I would have dreams that I was in jail and like wake up and be like, oh, fucking God, thank God I'm not in jail. Dude, jail scars the fuck out of you. I don't care how long you're in there. It is not cool. It is not fun. And that shit scared me fucking straight. That shit was just like, oh, God in heaven. That place just is fucking hell, man. No, I didn't have to be put into population, but it was not cool, man. I tell you something. It was not cool.
Part of your
time.
Your probation. And I saw that shit. That shit's good.
I didn't go to NA. I had to go to like, what is it? NA, like Narcotics Anonymous or something. And I had to be like, I'm a drug addict. It's fucking good.
The fuck out of me, dude. Like throughout my 20s, I had nightmares consistently of being in jail. It really, really, really terrified the fuck out of me.
What do you think it was?
Jail sucks, man. Have you ever been in jail? It's not fun. It's awful. It is awful, dude. That shit sucks, man.
From like a FOMO perspective or like a dangerous perspective?
Like there's no pussy in there. There's no freedom in
FOMO,
there.
FOMO.
There's
FOMO is.
FOMO.
All right.
So, but that August, I was like, fuck this, I'm turning my life around. And I registered for community college and I took 6 classes. And I got 3 A's and I got 3 B's. And then from that point forward, I was like 20 and a half when I enrolled and I had got my bachelor's degree in 3 years. After that moment that scared the shit out of me, which was going to jail. Because that just fucking sucked. Even though I didn't get put in a population, that was enough for me to see that.
That's not where you want to go.
No.
Cool. So
no.
You're 20, you have a degree. What'd you study?
Psychology, bachelor's in science of psychology. And the main reason for going to college at that time, because I thought that, okay, well, I'm poor. When you're a poor kid, the only way you think to become rich is
go to college. Yeah.
Go to college and become a doctor. So I was pre-med. And I was doing all my prerequisites and I was doing everything I needed to do. And one of the things you had to do was like go find a doctor and talk to him, right? So I went to this plastic surgeon's office and I sat down with him in his office and I said, well, I want to be rich. I want to be a doctor. He's like, you could see I was sincere. And I thought that the only way to be rich was to be a doctor. That's all I knew.
Well, that's one thing that poor people know for a fact that makes you rich. Be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah.
It's like financially uneducated people. And I honestly think that's to this day, they think doctor, lawyer, rich people.
Yeah.
Proceed.
That was me.
True.
And so what do you say to you?
He was like,
Dead ass. I literally thought the only way I could be rich was like being a doctor. I literally believe that is my reality.
son, he's like, if you want to be rich, he's like, you could start a business. You could do a lot of different things. Like being a doctor is not the way. He's like, honestly, if your intentions are to be rich with being a doctor, he's like, you probably shouldn't be a doctor. And that really rocked the boat for me because that shook my belief systems. He told me in a very compelling way too, a sincere way too.
That's actually pretty cool of him.
Yeah, Dr. Winter Park, fucking, just putting fake titties on housewives all day.
Yeah.
So he said with a smile on his face, he had money,
If you really want to, you want to fuck your clients.
Yeah.
So that's cool. He told you.
He told me.
And
so
then you're like, are you like, oh shit?
I am like, oh shit. But then that was like when I was my sophomore year. So I was like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I've always wanted to go to Japan. I said, I'm just gonna get my 4-year degree and teach English in Japan.
What drove the Japan thing?
There was 2 parts. One, I grew up when Pokemon was just all the rage.
Yep.
Pokemon card game. I've been playing since I was 7th grade. Pokemon became Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Z, Pride FC, Pride fighting.
Yeah.
Initial D, a lot of anime. You know, it was just something, you know, Japan has that mystical aura.
Yeah, it's got a vibe, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I heard that Japan had good money. I loved Asian girls, and I just figured I could do it. And that evolved into something else. But another thing is, I was the only one in my friend group that was really like going to the gym, going to learn how to fight better. I always had 2 jobs. I'd always been hustling. I've always been a hustler. And so I was like looking at all my friends. I'm like, these guys just all, they don't want to get pussy. They're like eating garbage all the time. They're playing Call of Duty, they're smoking weed. They're not really driven. They're not hungry. They don't want to do this. And I realized, like, if I stayed around these guys, this was never going to become who I was.
Yeah.
Because there's this evangelist who came by the church, and she said, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future." I'll never forget her. She also said Jesus came to her when she was in the bathtub and cured her of breast cancer. I don't know about that, but she did say, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future."
Sometimes sometimes it's a good idea to mix in some stuff that makes sense with some, you know, bullshit.
Why Jesus coming in the bathtub? You know, why'd you have to be in the bathtub? Yeah. So, but that made me realize, like, I need to get away from these guys. I need to go challenge myself. Because one thing I always asked myself growing up, I had a complex about my manhood growing up. I always asked myself, am I man enough? Eric taught me how to shave, right? And Eric, the guy, was funny too, because his dad left him too. So his dad, he was like kind of he was in spite of himself. He was very spiteful of his father leaving. And he was always telling me, like, you know, I had to fucking teach myself how to shave. My father didn't teach me. Then Eric taught me how to shave, you know? And, but I'd always had this complex of, like, am I man enough? Am I a man? I don't know if men ask themselves that often, but when I was young, that was a thing that I always would ask. I had like a complex about my masculinity.
Really?
Yeah, you know, just
Where
like.
do you think it came from? Just not having dad around?
For sure. I didn't know how to tie my own tie. I don't know.
That was a thing that was a real big question for me, and that led me to, like what I said, creating the Masculine Empowerment Network, because like I had no idea about manhood. Like, I had no idea what it meant to be a man. And, you know, now that question doesn't cross my mind. I know I'm the fucking man. You know, I know that, like, I'm a man in every sense of the word, bro. And being a man isn't about like how tall you are, how strong you are, anything about that. Being a man is the essence that's within you. And I believe the ultimate iconic trait of a man is independence, right? I do what I want to do. I think everybody knows here that, like, if I have a problem, if I just think somebody is off on some things, I'll just be like, yeah, I think this guy's off. I think he's full of shit. I don't know. I just think for myself, I'm very independent, right? Very red pill in its if you will. And a really good judge of character. I just love how me and Justin keep on fucking mimicking body language. I didn't even notice that until I started watching this. We're just like, we're constantly mimicking each other with body language. Justin's a great guy, guys. I got to tell you, just like 10 out of 10, smart guy, great individual. And, but anyways, like, manhood, it really is, it is the thing I think a lot of young men ask themselves, and especially men who were raised without a mother, or excuse me, without a father figure, and raised by a single mother. And that literally was a big question. You know what I mean? It was a huge question for me. And I don't know if it's a big question for you guys out there. Can we put that in the chat? Like, is that a question for you guys? Is that something that you like cared about, or were concerned about? Is that anything? I want to see what you guys have to say in the chat. Let's just check the Rumble chat for straight up just censored words on YouTube. But let me see. JP is in the house. He says, I thought I was crazy for asking myself the same question. Oh, interesting. Steph, 100%. Dude, we're going to make a man out of you. You just come hang out with me more. You're here in Tokyo. Come on. Pick up the phone, Chief. As you like, call me Chief. I love you, buddy. You're a great guy. Mario says, yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, because for me, that was a big process. Now I don't question my masculinity at all. I don't care. Like, I just know. I know I'm a man. And honestly, I know, like, a thing is this too, when you're kind of in this red pill space and this kind of quarterly update of like new red pill figures out there, right? We're kind of like always judging ourselves. Like, I think a lot of you guys are really like, because I obviously am a very successful individual, right? But some of you guys will be making like $200,000, $300,000 a year. And you're like, well, compared to MLD, I'm not making that much. But you have to realize that we're amongst the elite over here. And don't downplay your achievements. because, you know, as Qui-Gon Jinn said to Obi-Wan Kenobi in episode 1, right? There is always a bigger fish. So take some perspective and analyze what you have done with your life and who you were 5 years ago. And is that person greater and better than you are today? Then that is good. You're making progress. Okay. And then there's some objective markers. Like, you know, you obviously every guy should be shooting for that $100,000 a year. $100,000 a year is not hard to make anymore, guys. It's not. Even if it takes you 3 years, you know. Here we go. Look at that. Forever holding Dodge 200, 300K a year in a stable job is better than an entrepreneur making $1 million a year. I disagree. I disagree as an entrepreneur who is hoping the IRS isn't watching. But but yeah, you know, like, just make sure you're objectively judging yourself with fair criteria, right? Because I could sit here and be like, well, I make, you know, what Justin takes home, you know, excuse me, I only make about half of that, right? And you know, you have to put into perspective, right? Like, and Brandon really brought me home about this. And he really kind of gave me a lot of perspective on what I was doing in my life and stuff as a man. Because I was constantly got to this point because to be honest with you guys, I met Brandon Carter and I just felt like an inferior human. Like, just sitting there, I was just like, because I objectively was analyzing him. I was like, this guy has more money, more muscles. Okay. This guy is just like killing the game. He is absolutely murdering it. And I'm over here like, you know, just not as good as him. And it really messed me up a little bit. And the reality is, like, I was taking away from my perspective on things, which was, look where I came from. I literally came from literally the American dream, like filthy immigrant poverty level to self-made millionaire, multi-million-dollar earner. And we sometimes unfairly put ourselves in these situations where we're criticizing ourselves and we're judging ourselves so hard, and it really just doesn't make fair sense. So look, I've been going for 2 hours. I think we're gonna cut it there, and we'll be back tomorrow for part 2. And I think we're gonna go over to Rumble real quick. So we're gonna do the Rumble raid now. So come on over to Rumble. YouTube stream is going down. I'm putting the link in the chat. Come on over, and I'll give you my closing statements on Rumble. Peace out, YouTube.